Hello and welcome to another edition of Veterans Speak Out, sponsored by New Hampshire Veterans for Peace. This is Will Thomas, United States Navy.
And I'm Bill McCarthy, retired naval officer. I'm a member also of Veterans for Peace. But I'd like to welcome both of my colleagues back, Will Thomas from his very patriotic efforts over the weekend, and Dick Murphy for your very, very successful art exhibit and
Art and
crafts
wife.
exhibit. Well, both of you. And maybe you both comment on these areas, I hope.
Well, okay, let's start.
I'd rather hear from Will in Chicago myself.
Well,
I'm Richard
yeah,
Murphy, combat vet, Vietnam.
Exactly.
Good to be here.
What was the song, Please Come to Chicago?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well, it was Please Come to San
Boston
Francisco.
in the
Something like
springtime or
that.
Well, yeah, but I'm harking back to as we were passing by in the streets in Chicago, the Hilton Hotel where the 1968 Democratic Convention was
Yeah.
held.
Right.
And then, of course, when some of the protesters went into the windows, and then the police came and pushed them into Grant Park, and, all bedlam, all hell
Yeah.
broke loose.
Beat them up.
But we're talking about another protest, and it was aimed at the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which basically, how would you describe it, Bill? I mean, when it was formed,
It's
what was
defensive.
the purpose?
It's defensive to secure security against the Russians. That was
Right,
the whole point of
basically,
it. And for Western Europe.
Yeah.
Now they have
basically-
most of it. I bet you more than half of it includes Eastern Europe and some
Yeah.
Asian countries, Southeast Asian,
Africa.
South Asian countries, African countries.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the whole world
Right.
against,
So it's been-
Afghanistan or the
Well, it may have been
Al Qaeda.
there might have been a need or a perceived need for it back in 1950, but I don't know if there's any use for it now. It's just an aggressive organization.
It is.
trying to go over and attack everybody all over the whole world to protect
they are.
businesses.
And I mean, remember Yugoslavia? That was NATO.
Yeah.
Bill
yeah,
Clinton.
Yeah.
Of course, Libya,
Yeah.
Afghanistan,
And they
Iraq.
don't go in. The other countries don't go
Yemen.
in. The other countries don't go in as hardly as we do.
Right.
I think we pay 75% of the bills, don't we?
Something like
and
that, yeah.
75% of the
Oh, yeah,
troops too.
right.
Yeah.
And 75% of the fatalities are probably American.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
counting the civilians that get
Right.
killed on the other side.
Exactly.
But when you say you're not sure if it might not have been worth it, if we really look into it, it wasn't, because that book, which we were talking about before, which the audience, of course, has no idea about,
Which one?
Kennedy's assassination,
Oh,
why it's
JFK and
important,
the Unspeakable.
and the unspeakable.
Right, right.
They tell right in there about Khrushchev and JFK writing each other.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And this is something that no one knew about, even in the government, had any idea that these letters were going back and forth. And the Russians simply weren't interested in attacking us at all. That
No.
was not their interest.
No, they had their own problems. Right?
But Kennedy realized that he was trapped. He didn't really have a choice. It wasn't his call. And I think that's what's happening to Obama, and it's probably happened, except for when you got nuts like George W. Bush, who wants to attack everybody anyway.
Right.
He thinks it's a lot of fun, and it's
Well-
good to kick, bring them on and all
well,
that
it
kind of
seems like
stuff.
the military's wagging the tail, though, to me.
Well,
of
absolutely.
course.
Somebody this morning mentioned to me it was like a silent coup, which has happened over the years in this country.
Oh,
you know?
definitely. The Pentagon, the CIA, the National Security Council, all these people,
Yeah.
they are, you're right, in control. By the way, let's say, though, that Veterans for Peace has taken a position of opposing NATO and calling for its demise.
That's good.
And we marched, we assisted the young vets, the Iraq vets against the war, and the Afghan vets.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it was such a powerful moment. We're going to show a few slides here in a minute. Yeah, and that's one of the signs I picked up here. By the way, there's Bradley Manning up there, and there's a contingent of people who marched
This is
for
Bradley
him.
right here.
But Palestine, Palestine is listed, Bill. One more time, Richard. Palestine, Afghanistan, and Iraq, and the occupations.
Yeah.
By the way, below socialistworker.org. You mentioned the word socialist. People are screaming.
We're a socialist country, financially speaking.
For the rich, for the 1%.
For the wealthy, yeah, absolutely.
They subsidize very well. Well, all right, let's.
You want me to bend your mind? A guy told me the other day that our position on the defense budget. This fellow told me the other day that the defense budget is welfare for the middle class.
Yeah.
I said, "Are you crazy?"
Defense budget?
I said, "Well, all these people are working, making bombs and grenades and all that crap. That's
Wow.
welfare for the."
It's welfare for all those
Where
that
did he get
officer
these
corps.
ideas? I mean, that's
Who knows?
crazy.
Who knows?
That's crazy.
Well, by the way, Obama says another at least 2.5 years, but he's forgetting The end date that was announced previously was 2024. With the advisors and trainers, the ones the Afghans are killing.
NATO.
As soon as we get
NATO again, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all about resources. We know that.
Yeah, but I guess
Yeah.
they also want to change it into a nice, safe police state,
Right.
and they're training the police
Like we are.
like we are,
becoming,
like we are.
or we have become.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to see. I should say, by the way, VFP. When I went on Friday, we had nonviolent training Friday evening, Saturday morning for about 4 or 5 hours with Elliot Adams, a past president of VFP, and some local wonderful trainers in nonviolence. And then, of course,
Well, what did they tell you to do? Just
we
sit
did a lot of
there?
role playing. You see the pictures of the police with their batons
Yeah.
pushing you back. What do you do? Do you lock hands? Do you sit
Yeah.
down? I mean, all kinds of tactics, But I mean, by and large, we, pledged, obviously, and I'm wearing the shirt, the Veterans Peace Team. We stand as a buffer between the protesters and the police.
Sure.
And but our job is not to protect people who are being violent.
No.
Our job is to be a presence, a model, if you will, for nonviolence.
Right. That's the thing that's
and-
going to work.
Well, but we have to expand the team. There's probably about 45 to 50 members right now.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a few good men and women.
I
to
did
join.
see the guys, the police, using their batons this way,
Oh,
boom,
yeah.
boom, boom, because the crowd was trying to challenge them a little bit.
Some,
So
yeah.
They had was there an overpowering number of police from?
Oh, definitely. Police everywhere. I mean, helicopters, the blue helmeted, used to be Blackwater. I forget, there's a new name now here in the U.S.
Z.
Z was in Israel.
Yeah.
I know that.
Do you think there were more police than there were protesters?
Well, if we had about 15,000, it might have been close. It might have been close.
It looked like it
Yeah.
on television.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, okay. By the way, the protest was organized by CanGate, they call it, the Coalition Against NATO, and the G8. The G8, the nations that control the wealth of this planet, met in Camp David. They were supposed to be in Chicago too, but security. Obama said, "Come to Camp David."
Yeah.
Now he came in on what was it, Saturday night or Friday night? I forget which one, for the summit. And I'm reading the newspapers and I'm seeing what's happening in the streets and talking to people from all over the country. No faith in Obama.
Yeah.
None. And when you hear these vets speak, and by the way, we should announce it now. Democracy Now,
Yeah.
Amy Goodman.
Yeah.
Go to www.democracynow.org and you can hear the voices, and you have some of them over there, of the vets as to why they threw back their medals. And we were marching to McCormick Place, the big convention center where the summit was being held.
Yeah.
And it was powerful. I mean, I was moved to tears from the testimony of the vets, male and female, and just a powerful moment. So if you get a chance, go to democracynow.org with Amy Goodman. There's also, by the way, some high school students who, when we were starting to march, gave me this card. And I looked at it, and in a little button it said, "Occupy High School, students of the 99%. So people, high school students, college students, occupyhighschool.org. Wonderful website. Wonderful young people. Anyway. But before the convention, well, let's actually see the first slide. We'll play off that. This is Elliot Adams on the right, and the guy on the left is Lobo, they call him. He calls himself Eric. He's a Chicago cop and a member of Vets for Peace. He assisted us tremendously and the young Iraq vets and Afghan vets. And in the middle, guy from New Mexico, Will Covert. And you can see in his hands, he's got the American flag. And by the way, behind him is Ken Mayers, originally from Bedford, New Hampshire. But Will has got the flag. Inside the flag is a letter. And it's a letter addressed to NATO officials. Okay, the head NATO honcho, forget his name
A
now,
letter they'll never read.
from Belgium. And they wouldn't, we actually had a car come up, head of security, and he said, "I can't take this. I'm not going to debate you." So we talked with him for about 10, 15 minutes almost, and then we said, "What we're going to do with the flag?" Well, the next slide will show you what he See, we took a little wooden platform, and Will slid it under the fence, okay? And, I mean, think about that. Here's the American flag. It's not on the ground, okay? There's a letter addressed to NATO saying, we call on you to disassemble, to stop wasting the resources of the world on violence, on destruction, on war, on killing. And so we don't know. We had to disperse after that. This is on Saturday, okay? So the next slide shows this is Saturday. Sunday, okay? And that's the Petrillo band shell in Grant Park. You know, from in '68, where all the demonstrators were pushed back, where they were beaten and etc. So you can see they're set up for speeches and music and poetry and hip hop. This is before the big march, okay? And you can notice the Free Bradley Manning. By the way, some of the speakers were our new president, Leah Bolger, Jesse Jackson, Kathy Kelly, the wonderful woman, right? You've seen and heard.
Very, very good, yeah.
And others. And Tom Morello used to be with Rage Against the Machine, I think, and others. And some really good stuff there. All right, the next one. Actually, now we're getting ready to march. And this is my new buddy, Larry, from Peoria, Illinois.
Oh, wow.
And that's a woman. Originally, I had this confused with I took a picture of a Danish reporter, but she was a volunteer directing people, okay, this way to the protest. And right across the street were the Iraq and Afghan vets were assembling to prepare to march. All right, next. We're in the march. And you can see our new banner, Veterans Say No to NATO, Veterans for Peace.
You did see the Veterans for Peace flags quite prominently
Right.
on television. You guys did get a lot of press on the national.
We would have had even more flags, but out of deference to the Iraq and Afghan vets, they asked us respectfully not to have as many flags because it might distract. We were actually not far behind them. We were behind them. Okay.
Why would it distract, though?
Because it's not a VFP event. It's the
I
young
see. I
vets.
understand.
We were there to support them.
Yeah.
I mean, we were responsible for their birth, really, in Boston in 2004. And there's Larry on the right, and there's Ellen Barfield, who's an Air Force vet, and again, Jay Wenck in the white hat, as a World War II vet, wearing his Purple Heart and other medals, and Leah Bolger, the new president, who got arrested, remember, in Congress
Oh,
for
that was great.
and 10
She's a
mayors.
very articulate speaker.
Oh, it's very good. Okay, so next one. Now, this, after we reached the point, McCormick Place is in the back. There's a fence again. And this young soldier is giving to this mother of an Iraq war vet. Her name is Mary Kirkland. Her son had 3 tours. He really came back the last time really, really bad. VA gave him some assistance. He got worse. They didn't handle it properly. He killed himself. And on the back of Mary's shirt is his picture. And so they're giving that flag to her. And these are 2 guys who would speak later about why they returned their medals. All right, next slide. And also sharing the stage were 3 young Afghan women called part of an organization called Afghans for Peace. And I'm telling you, they were so intense, so emotional, so powerful. Again, speaking for their relatives who are in Afghanistan. One lives in Canada and has become a Canadian citizen. That she's paying taxes, she said, in Canada for the Canadian military to kill her family.
Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
jeez.
And they were also interviewed on Democracy Now! Next. Now here's Amy. After we left that point there, McCormick Place, and then marched to a nearby park. And there's Mary again, the mother who's holding her son's picture. And there's Amy Goodman doing the interview. All right, the next one. And I don't know if he's wearing, by the way, on the right, that's one of Occupy Manchester's, I guess you wouldn't say leader, but organizers, Mark Provo. And on the left, he's an Iraq War vet, and he was very prominently featured in the news when he got hit with a tear gas canister in the head.
Yeah.
Scott Olson in California, in Oakland.
In Oakland, oh yeah.
Scott Olson from, currently living in the Bay Area. And
He's lucky he's not dead.
when he came on stage, he actually had a helmet on, a football helmet, okay? And people go to democracynow.org. You can hear him speak as well. And you've got his commentary, I think, Richard, over there. Some of the words of the vets who returned. So if you can look for that, Scott Olson. And then, Bill, what's your response to hearing? I mean, you've been reading about this in the newspapers. I don't know how much you saw on TV.
Well, I did. They did mention it quite a bit. Unfortunately, they never did discuss the importance and significance of why this demonstration was happening and so forth. It got kind of screwed up by the arrest of these three young men,
Including one from New
who
Hampshire.
had planned
Right.
to blow up the police station, Rahm Emanuel's house, and I don't know how many other things. And it just seemed absurd to me, but that's all they wanted to talk about.
Right,
They
violence,
just
you
want
know,
to
if
talk
it
about
bleeds, what's that saying? If it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah, if it
you know,
bleeds, it
so,
leads,
So, and we were upset, too, that much of the commentary on television and in the press, the print press, was all about the black bloc and the violence.
That's right. That's what it was all
and
about.
there was very little about the vets.
But at least you did get there, and it did get on television that there was some type of demonstration. The Veterans for Peace flags were there. They knew there were Iraq War veterans. Even though the whole story didn't come out, it made it quite frequently on the national media.
Right.
But not the real reasons why.
Exactly. And, you know, people ask me, well, NATO, what's the problem? Well, they're taking our money. They're stealing our money. They're repressing people around the world in the name of democracy and freedom and liberty.
Right.
It's
and
an aggressive
the war
organization.
on terrorism.
It's
The-
not
the war-
defensive.
No, the war on terrorism is starting to occur here against us.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
FBI repression.
It doesn't look
Absolutely.
like you can have a demonstration anymore.
Well-
because if they had as many cops as you had demonstrators and tell you can't
Right.
walk here, you can't walk there, you can't walk the other place, it's like you can't demonstrate. No
Although
more freedom of,
Well, they
freedom of
have
speech.
they have those areas, you know, like in the upcoming election, where you'll be able to stand out somewhere around Victory
They
Park,
did it
2
in the
miles
Democratic
away.
Convention in Boston. I was like that too. They put you over in the North End someplace, I think, behind a fence.
Right.
So we're really losing it quite a bit.
Right.
We've
We're
lost
losing
it.
freedom of speech and
gone.
democracy.
Did I have
and-
one of those did you get one of those papers to
He
read?
took them.
You want me to read
Scott
Scott?
took them.
Can you find
Want me to
Scott
read
Olson?
Scott? Yeah.
Yeah, Scott Olson's
This is what
comment.
Scott Olson says. I have today my Global War on Terror Medal, Operation Iraqi Freedom Medal, National Defense Medal, Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal. These medals, once upon a time, made me feel good about what I was doing. They made me feel like I was doing the right thing, and I came back to reality, and I don't want these anymore. And one other soldier says, Dave, my name's Dave. I served in the U.S. Navy from 99 to 2003 and participated in the invasions of Iraq and Afghanistan. I was wrong to sign myself up for that. I apologize to the Iraqi and Afghani people for destroying your countries.
And one last one, I think, on the very end. No, on that paper. Aaron Hughes from Illinois is one of the organizers, an Iraq vet. Aaron Hughes.
Yeah, Aaron Hughes says, my name is Aaron Hughes. I served in the Illinois Army National Guard from 2000 to 2006. This medal right here is for Anthony Wagner. He died last year. This medal right here is for the 1/3 of the women in the military that are sexually assaulted by their peers. We talk about standing up for our sisters. We talk about standing up for our sisters in Afghanistan, and we can't even take care of our sisters here. And this medal right here is because I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of you. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Aaron Hughes.
Yeah, some powerful, very powerful
Yeah.
testimony. And here's Obama saying, you know, we're going to continue on with the
Can I make one
Yeah,
comment?
sure. Go ahead.
On medals.
Oh, yeah.
As you well know, right?
They're
the Cold War,
worthless.
we never had a medal. Nobody in the Cold War, which was the biggest war going, but there
Right.
were no medals awarded.
Right.
The reason being because they don't want anybody to notice these types of wars, and that was the first step suggesting a teaching. The Cold War's ambiguity might have signaled the conventional categories no longer fit, that they wanted wartime and peacetime to coexist, and they had now merged together. That was the first.
Well, the
and
first-
everything since that's been the same way.
The first medal that every Army soldier, every soldier in the Army gets is the National Defense
Same thing, Navy
Medal.
gets that.
Navy gets it
Navy
too.
gets the same thing.
I think all the forces get it. And of course, it's a complete lie on the basis of it. You're not defending. I never defended the United States or anything. I was always an aggressor. Always, the soldier. The role I took was what we would call the enemy's role. I was
People in the Cold
aggressive.
War didn't even get the national defense.
Oh,
they
they
get
didn't?
nothing. They get nothing.
That was me.
Yes, nothing.
You didn't get a national defense medal? So it was.
I know a guy.
It started in Vietnam. Then that's when.
I know
Yeah.
a guy that's a four-stripe Navy captain, full colonel, right? Never 3 years active duty and so forth, but all Cold War before Vietnam, right? Zero, nothing here. The admiral comes in to inspect. He says, "You forgot your ribbons." I don't have any ribbons, Admiral.
No kidding.
Well, I put mine away somewhere years and years and years ago. I
Yeah.
had something. The Cuban campaign.
Oh yes, sir.
Remember
yeah,
the
yeah.
Cuban Missile Crisis, and I had good conduct. I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
They're in some attic somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. But these guys, some of them literally ripped their medals off and turned and could fling, as far as they could fling, their medals towards McCormick Center, where all these, should I use the term, war criminals were meeting,
Yeah.
Yeah,
including
of
the
course you
President
can.
of the United
That's
States.
what they are.
Too bad John Kerry wasn't there to lead this charge.
Yeah.
Throw some medals over.
By the way, the new French president has said he will take out all French troops at the end of this year.
Yeah, he's a good man.
And so there are others.
He's a
who-
socialist. He's a good man.
Yeah.
My captain in Vietnam, well, my second captain, was a West Pointer, and he threw his medals away
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and ran for Congress, and his plane blew up.
Oh, yeah. That seems to be a signature
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
CIA, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I really believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Paul Wellstone. By
Yeah.
the way, Trujillo, the Panamanian
Trujillo, yeah,
dictator.
he definitely was
Uh,
killed that way.
What was I going to say here? I lost my train of thought. Where the NATO forces will remain to train. Well, we've been training them for 10 years,
Yeah.
and
the police,
and all that billions and billions and billions of dollars. I mean, it just.
And I think they're shooting some American GIs. at the
Yeah,
same
somewhere
time,
I
you know?
think I
Yeah.
heard that. But those Afghan women said the best thing you can do, speaking to Obama and NATO and to us, the people, is to convince your government that the occupation is killing us
yeah,
and destroying us. We want health care. We want education. We want some assistance, but not drones and
Yeah.
bombs and missiles and soldiers knocking in my grandparents' door and shooting first and then asking questions later.
yeah, and they don't really care what the answer is either.
No.
They don't care.
They don't. Well, Bill, you had something, because I think we've got maybe about 4 minutes left. I want to make sure we get that in. That song, remember some of the viewers who may have seen the show, was it last week? Yeah. Paul Brailsford, 96 years old, longtime member of Vets for Peace, died at the age of 96. And he was a poet, and the service had a song that was there. We all sang it down in Danvers, Mass. At the UU
And Will gave me this
Church.
to read the other day.
We-
It was for the memorial service, and that I didn't know it was a song and you sang it, but it's a heck of a poem.
So.
If I could just read it,
Sure.
it's by Ed McCarthy, and it does say words I'm using. Last night I had the strangest dream I'd ever dreamed before. I dreamed the world had all agreed to put an end to war. I dreamed I saw a mighty room filled with women and men, and the paper they were signing said they'd never fight again. And when the paper was all signed and 1,000,000 copies made, they all joined hands and bowed their heads, and grateful prayers were prayed. And the people in the streets below were dancing round and round, and the swords and guns and uniforms were scattered on the ground. Last night I had the strangest dream I've never dreamed before. I dreamed the world had all agreed to put an end to war. That's a very powerful poem. I thought
We
that
all
was a
we
super
all
poem.
sang it.
You sang
we
it?
sang it.
That's
Wow.
great.
There were about
song.
200 people in that church,
Yeah.
and boy, what a presence.
And then did you do a line dance after?
yeah, we walked,
But
we danced out. Yeah,
was the
Unfortunately,
character, huh?
under a
Yeah.
system of capitalism, that won't happen.
yeah, yeah.
It won't
Well,
happen.
how about the other one though? Is that maybe we should mention that? Well, maybe not. I don't know. It's pretty deep, but
Yeah.
any more comments from any of those soldiers?
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean I've got.
My name is Greg Miller. I'm a veteran of the United States Army infantry with a service in Iraq in 2009. The military hands out cheap tokens like this to soldiers, service members in an attempt to fill a void where their conscience used to be once they indoctrinated out of you. But it didn't work on me, so I'm here to return my Global War on Terrorism medal, my National Defense Medal, because they're both lies. Christopher May says, I left the Army as a conscientious objector. We were told that these medals represented, democracy and justice and hope and change for the world. These medals represent a failure on behalf of the leaders of NATO to accurately represent the will of their own people. It represents a failure on the leaders of NATO to do what's right by the disenfranchised people of this
Well,
world.
we've got a minute left, so I think we're going to have to sign off here. But it's a powerful moment there in history that occurred in Chicago, and people ought to go to alternative media. So we're going to say goodbye, good luck, so long, until next time. Wage peace. Go to democracynow.org and get the full scoop. And as A.J. Musty once said,
There is no way to peace.
Peace is the way.
thanks for watching.
Thanks. Well, these are good little vignettes.
Yeah, aren't they powerful?
As opposed to a big
We're still going. Yeah, very powerful. Doing two shows at once.
Huh?
Brendan's
doing
doing
two, yeah?
two at once.
Wow.
Yeah.